Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel here on Global Conquerors, our weekly podcast, Conquest. This is episode 23, recorded on April 14th, 2021. We're back to recording on Sundays. It's me, your host, SMGFrenzy, with my co host.
AssassinADC for another episode. This is really early, as you notice in Mokhtar's background to
It
the
is
left of him.
light out here.
It's bright. We were recording this really early. I think he's gonna be busy later tonight, so might as well get it out. So it's as we're recording, it is 10:43 a.m.
Yep.
April 14th, like you said. Um, Not really much to talk about this week. It's been a slow week, but there's still a good amount of things we can talk about. Um, Yeah, let's hop into it.
Yeah,
The
our
episode.
esports category is a bit more heavy. We'll start off with some of the positives first before we get into some of the heartbreak. So first, we got Team Liquid. Team Liquid has had another anime collaboration with this time the series Death Note that has come out this month. As you know, Team Liquid has done stuff with other, not just anime, but with other
Avengers, no? They did
yeah, the
Avengers.
Avengers one where they had the different Marvel ones. They had like an Iron Man jersey. They had like a Thor, Captain America and stuff. So Team Liquid has been the other esports team besides 100 Thieves to have these really cool collabs. But the difference is that while 100 Thieves does more casual wear collaborations, you know, that you can wear on the street, Team
Wait,
Liquid
wait, 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 wait. What
what
did you say?
to do more of these cooler collabs, like not just the standard. Wait, I
What?
know what you're gonna say, but like think about it. What other orgs do you see collaborating with
No, no,
Marvel
no, no, no,
with
no, no. It's not that. It's what you just said.
no, because okay, like on two different
Collabs,
spectrums, collaborations,
collabs. What the?
collabs,
What is a collabs?
a collab.
Collaboration, collabs.
Yeah, same
What?
thing.
No, okay. Anyway, sorry to cut you off.
No,
It
you're
just,
good.
it was gonna trigger me if I didn't have to address it.
No, you're good. You're good. Well, I like 100 Thieves does more like casual streetwear collaborations. Team
Yeah, they've
Liquid
done some
goes
good stuff.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Say what you gotta say
Like,
there.
Team Liquid does more so of like they take their jerseys and their actual esports wear and has like different collaborations, like instead with Marvel or with Death Note or with any other franchise. So it's like two things that are doing. They're like both collaborations, but on completely different ends of the spectrum. And it's cool because like I'm sure you've seen like the Team Liquid Marvel ones, and those were really nice when they were wearing them for a while. And these Death Note ones, they do obviously have some of the casual lifestyle stuff, but they have it where their jerseys are themed, and it's like really it's unique to see, and it's cool to see that esports orgs still in 2024, despite esports winter, are still getting these cool crossovers and promotions that make them well known, especially with franchises like Death Note, which is one of the most popular anime franchises out there. So
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty weird to see how far esports has came, knowing that orgs back then just released their merch and collaborations wasn't like a big thing.
mhm.
Obviously, FaZe did it. This what did FaZe do? Disney, right? At
That
one point,
Disney one, I
which
think, yeah.
well, I think which was like crazy to think where FaZe has came from being a sniping org to, I mean, obviously they do context stuff,
Hmm.
but to see an org like that grow into what it is now with the collabs of obviously, and then 100 Thieves, they've been really well with it, but they realize, um, obviously they have their I guess their audience, but because they release streetwear stuff, it means anyone can wear it,
Hmm.
which is another big audience they have. I mean, 100 Thieves has done it good. I mean, Team Liquid has done it great. Um, 100 Thieves has done it more for like a marketing for everyone,
Hmm.
and obviously Team Liquid has done it more for the
The
esports fans.
esports, yeah.
Obviously, they have their stuff, but it's crazy to think how far esports has gotten, especially with these type of collabs that have came out.
Hmm.
Obviously, recently Optic did the Juventus collab. Optic has been doing a bunch of stuff too. I mean, they've done the Maverick, the Rangers, and then now they're doing Juventus.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think how far esports has came to where these big, I guess, businesses or corporations or organizations outside of that and are esports related
Yeah.
are taking chances on these, and they actually are doing pretty good. So it's good to see the direction esports has gone. It's really crazy to see. I mean, it's not the first time we've seen like an organization collab. Obviously, FaZe did it with Man City,
Hmm.
and they Man City. I mean, they had their jerseys. They had the FaZe logo on their jerseys at one point. Um, and they were used in matches, I think, if I wasn't
I
mistaken.
think so. Yeah, they had to have. Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy to see how far these organizations have gone, and to see how far they built their brands the right way.
No, yeah.
So that's crazy, and it won't be the last thing Team Liquid does. They always have a fun. They always find a way to shock people. So this won't be the last, but at least they're moving into different, I guess, categories. Obviously, Marvel. Then now they're doing obviously like movie fanatics. Marvel.
Hmm.
Now they're into the anime, and anime is such a variety. So they probably could just do more anime if anyone is willing to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty crazy. But obviously, Team Liquid, whoever there runs that over there, are doing an amazing job with these collaborations with people.
Yeah. Exactly.
Uh, so
Yeah,
shout
like
out
you
to
said,
them.
I imagine we'll see more from Team Liquid and other esports, especially the top esports teams later down the road of collabs, since they still have a presence where brands are willing to actually work with them to advertise, and it's mutual benefit for both parties.
Hmm.
But to move on to our next topic, this is just League in general. I'll start from least painful to most painful. We're gonna start with the LEC. The LEC League European Series has their grand finals actually going on right now as we speak. There's G2 versus Fnatic. If you watch the European series, this is the matchup you always expect because those are the two best teams in league. It's expected for G2 to win as always because Fnatic can't beat G2 unfortunately, but we will see. Then we move on to the LPL, which had their losers finals today, and it was a JDG versus Top Esports. JDG were the favorites to win that losers final, but they actually lost against Top Esports in a big upset. So Top will be playing against Billy Gaming, and those two teams will be going to MSI with the rest of the teams. There's that. And then the biggest heartbreak for everyone around the world, T1 versus Genji. There's a lot to unpack about this one. Most of the casters were like Genji was gonna 3-0 T1. T1 has no chance. Betting odds were all on Genji. First series was surprisingly close despite T1 being down a lot. Faker carried through. Zeus and Owner were not present. Second series, T1 stomped Genji. Not even close. T1 looked like the world's greatest team. Third series, again, T1 stopped Genji. Faker was carrying the game. Zeus had no kills, not present. Owner came back to life for a little bit. Fourth game, Genji did something to themselves because they woke up, completely demolished T1. T1 was just not present. Fifth game, Genji had a lead the entire game, but T1 stopped the game from ending, basically. Faker and Keria were like playing God mode, but Zeus and Owner were completely checked off online because once those two players, once they get to game 5, they log out. They're not there. So it was a 3v5 the entire game 5 with Gumayusi, Carrier, and Faker trying to keep their team motivated, but they were mental boomed. Genji wins in like 40 or something minutes. You see T1's coach run on stage to comfort specifically Zeus and Owner because he could tell that they were just gone the entire series. T1 fans are not surprised, but at the same time disappointed because we've lost to Gen G 4 times in a row. Now Chovy is now the first player in the Korean history to
I
win
win
four split finals in a
or
row. Besides that, it was three for Chovy, for Faker, and for Ruler. But now Chovy's been able to pull ahead of Faker in one thing, but also Chovy has never won an international event, so you guys still cannot call him the greatest of all time. And he's
nah.
only won 4 LCK finals while Faker has 10. So, you know.
He has just won it in 4 times in a row, right? That's
Yeah,
it.
he's won it four
Yeah.
times in a row, so he's one of the LCK's top players of all time, but he's not LCK's best player of all time because clearly Faker showed today why he's still the best of all time. He just needs a team, and right now his team is not there, unfortunately.
I don't know. That first game, I remember we were watching it, bro. It was like at what 2:30 in the morning.
Hmm.
We're like, they're about to all get mowed. They're about to get team wiped. And all I know is that the GOAT League of Legends made the greatest play and they still lost.
Yep.
So we thought he only had killed 2 people. He ended up killing 4 to
Yep.
keep him alive. Just for someone to troll. I don't know exactly who trolled. Someone overextended
It was
and got him
Zeus.
killed.
He was by himself and got picked.
Well, it was I think it was over from the start, but because Faker was playing out of this world, even though he was not trying, he was trying to feed Goom, because he was, I mean, the most overpowered, I mean, the player, if he is fed kills, um, you could tell that it started shifting when he started getting kills because Faker was setting him up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, top. I mean, it was. I mean, Zayas had died in the first like 2 minutes
Mm-hmm.
twice. That's really, really, and they had already lost so much facility. They had no vision the whole game.
Yeah.
They're literally going into. Um, Owner made a dope ass play that really didn't. I mean, didn't really mean anything when he stole the dragon. When he was like, it was 5v1.
He does it
Don't know how
again
he did it.
later in the series. T1 is really good at stealing dragons and barons, which is insane. They just can't win games against Genji.
I was like, this is gonna be close. And then I saw they started pulling up. And I was like, damn, never mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then he made the place. I'm like, all right, there's a chance. And then someone trolled, and then they all died. And then yeah.
Yep.
The last thing I checked, we did a coin flip to see if we're gonna watch it through. I didn't. I didn't watch it
Yeah.
until I woke up at the very last match at the start of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I slept for 2, 3, and 4, and woke up. Sorry for the random pause in this video. Anyways, I don't know where the video is gonna continue on, but I was talking about how I woke up, um, to the game 5, and then someone trolled this and that. Game 1 was close. Well, at a point, and then it because Faker made a play, Faker kept them alive, and then pretty much trolled, and then they smoked them, and then game 5 was close until wasn't, and then
Game
yeah.
5 was the same thing as Game 1. Genji had no reason to let it get that close, but Faker, Guma, and Keria made sure that it was close despite, like I said, playing 3v5, which is annoying.
They should have 3 of them, bro. If they, I mean, they had the better draft in the first game, and it's because one player didn't play good, and then I mean he was dead in the first 2 minutes twice.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
T1, I think if we look at our videos from last year, there's always 2 reasons why they lose. Either they can't draft, which is not an excuse this game. T1 drafted just fine. Except for the game 5, they drafted a little iffy, but besides that, they drafted just fine the whole series. Second reason, Zeus and Owner. Grand Finals.
I remember one time it was Guma too, but Guma then just gets really consistent since they lost Worlds, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Guma's rebounded since
So
they
when
lost
when they
Worlds.
lost Worlds and then they went on to because he was their best player, he was going on. It was just fucking crazy. He was the MVP of the finals of and he was the MVP of the what is it, the Asian Games?
Yeah.
Bro, he played out of his mind those 2 tournaments. Where is he?
Guma played fine this series.
No, no, not Guma. I'm talking about
Zeus.
yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it's the same. If you look back this time last year, we're saying the same things. Zeus checks out during finals. I don't know what it is.
Not last year's final. He went off.
Last year, I don't. Did
The
T1 win
final.
spring finals?
No, no, no. I'm talking about Worlds. I'm thinking of
Well,
Worlds.
yeah, Worlds. No, he was actually checked in for Worlds last year, but LCK
I would
finals.
assume so because he just won the Olympic medal,
I
gold
know,
medal,
but like,
and he went off in that too. And he was playing with almost his whole team roster.
I don't know what to tell you. Hold on, let me. I
No,
think last year though, for the LCK at least, when they play LCK finals against Genji,
wasn't there.
they can't win. Like, let me pull up the stats for last year spring finals. And obviously, the matchup is the same as always because no other team gets the LCK finals. And T1 lost to Genji. Let me see if I can find the stats. It's the real question. T1 lost to Gen G 3-1. And yeah, that's all I know. But as I was saying, I don't know what it is with Zeus, but he seems anytime he plays Gen G, especially specifically Gen G, he seems to just not be there. And like I said, we've been talking about this since last year. Okay, I do got the stats. So last year's T1 versus Gen G finals, T1 lost the first game again. T1 lost the second game, T1 won the third game, and then T1 lost obviously the fourth game. And in that game, Zeus, let's see, Zeus was checked out game 1, game 2, game 3. He only came alive game 4 when it didn't matter because Faker was checked out.
How many kills did he get that game?
He got 3 kills, 4 deaths. Game 3, he had 0 kills, 2 deaths. Game 1, he had 1 kill, 7 deaths. And no, game 1, he had 1 kill, 6 deaths. And game 2, he had 1 kill, 7 deaths. Versus today's series, Zeus had 2 kills the entire series, barely any assists.
5 games, they had an extra game to get, and he only got 2, bro.
It would have been even better if he had assists, but he also got barely any assists.
Look, this might be like a faded take, or not a faded, but now that you see T1, do you think they should have made a roster change?
It's hard to say.
I like this team. This team, I actually enjoy watching them.
Yeah.
When they're all on, they can smoke everybody.
It's hard to say because when it's not against Gen G, Zeus is the GOAT. Dude is unstoppable. But when they play against Gen G or when they're in the grand finals, Zeus has logged off and a fake Zeus has taken his place. And they can't win 4v5. It's impossible in League.
You think, okay, let's just say they don't win Worlds this year. They do make the change. There's no way they don't. They have to.
No, yeah. If they don't win Worlds this year, I wouldn't be surprised if they make.
I know who the main 2 will stay. Obviously, I know who they would do, but
Faker and Carry aren't going anywhere.
Does Guma proven enough to stay on this roster? I think he has. He's been great since they lost the finals.
I think
he's been when he's on, he's on.
And
it just depends. No, but I think he's improved way more since the final loss till now, because he's been really consistent and no one's been criticizing him anymore as much as they did.
I say if T1 loses Worlds this year, it's the chopping block is Zeus and Owner. Those two go from best to really, really inconsistent when it really matters. And like we've been saying the past 3 years, it's great that they're the most consistent finals team, but doesn't mean anything if you can't win the finals. Luckily, T1 doesn't lose to Chinese team, so Worlds was just a breeze for them. But besides that, if they can't beat Gen G, because Gen G is the roster made to be the T1 killers.
Yeah, but they can't beat anyone else.
Yeah, it's so weird. Gen G, best Korean team, but they lose to North America, they lose to Europe, they lose to China. T1, second best Korean team, wipes the board of everybody that's not called Gen G.
What we're trying to say is Chovy would have had the same amount of trophies as Faker in the last 4 years if they didn't lose off rip.
It's so weird, because, like, if you consider that, then does T1 actually have to change? Because they don't have to worry about Gen G and internationals. Like, we went to Worlds in 2022. We saw Gen G got swept by a Korean team that no one expected to get them beat by. Last year, Gen G also got swept for no reason. T1 made it finals back-to-back those 2 years, despite losing to Gen G consistently those 2 years. So does T1 change their roster to make sure that they are the Gen G killer and then potentially lose that potential to lose in Worlds? Or do they keep their same thing?
they have what it takes to win. Obviously, they won it last year.
Yeah.
But this narrative of you can't beat this team has to irritate them. There's no way.
No, yeah, of course.
If you can win the biggest one of all, and yet you can't beat that one team, if you don't beat that team to win it, then it doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have to beat Genji at Worlds and win Worlds to be at least keep this roster, because we know if Genji doesn't troll and they would end up playing almost every year.
Yeah.
And since they've always beaten them, it wouldn't be anything different. So,
I think what needs to happen, Genji and T1 are both going to be at MSI. If they're going to get seeded in obviously different pools, and if they go through the bracket and end up in the finals, if T1 beats Genji in those finals, then we can start saying maybe they keep the roster this year. Because T1 does, like I said, T1 pops off at international events. And of course, we can add on that they haven't had much practice in the past few weeks or whatever. T1 clearly is still. Yeah.
Chosen's the T1 killer because he has not changed from that. The roster has changed. He's the only one, and he's only one has beaten them. They changed the roster literally a different roster, and they still beat him. Barely, but they beat him. Maybe he is the reason why they lose to Genji.
But he's
not better than Faker in my opinion. But I think he's the reason why they lose to. Think about it. Look at it. He has been on the 4P, right?
Yeah.
He's been a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
They have a different roster this year, and they still win it. He's the only one who hasn't changed.
It's the same way that Faker is the one that keeps T1 together. Chovy is Genji's Faker. Like, that's just hands down. By the time that Faker retires, Chovy will be the next king of the LCK. Like, that's confirmed at this point, considering the way that Genji has been. But Genji's legacy with Chovy
is drop the bag and go get that man. I don't care how much
they can't though, because Chovy and Faker play the same role.
I said when Faker retires, T1 got to go drop the money and go get the other one.
That's not happening, because the same way that Faker is loyal to T1, Genji is Chovy is T1. Chovy is Genji's ride or die. Genji has put so much money, so much time, so much effort into making sure that he does not get poached.
T1 are willing to buy as much as they're willing to give, and they buy him. You don't think they would let it go?
No, it's the same way that, like, so many Chinese teams have offered T1 Faker like triple his contract. He's like, nah, I'm not leaving. Sometimes you gotta understand they have org loyalty in Korea. Those top players will not leave. He is not going anywhere. What T1 needs to do is, if Zeus and Owner cannot show up during MSI and they continue to underperform during the summer finals and world finals, T1 will be making roster change, and top and jungle will be changed. With who, I don't know. If they can, they'll probably try to poach Genji's top and jungle.
Which they're okay with getting rid of.
It'd be interesting.
Would it be funny if they just switched sides and like T1 they release those two players and then Genji they get approached and they buy them, and then Genji's like, well, why don't we just go pick up the second two best players that they have?
Yeah. And if Genji wins with those two players, then it's like, okay, T1 is just cooked regardless. They just can't bench
Chovy. It has to be Chovy. This is the only one that makes sense. He's been a part of all four, and he's won them at all.
Like, the Chovy is Genji's
He's not better than Faker. Yeah, but he's not better than Faker.
No, yeah. He just adds that experience the same way that Faker adds experience to T1, able to build these rosters and make sure that they listen to him and play well. It's just, it's not that, like we said multiple times, it's not that Zeus and Owner are bad players.
They're not.
It's just, for some reason, when it comes to finals, something in their mental gets fricked. I get the first time losing to Genji, okay, it's whatever. Second time, first time that lost to Genji, that was their first time playing a spring finals. Second time, okay, what is it? Third time, okay, they're afraid of Genji, clearly. Fourth time, they're still clearly afraid of Genji. I don't know what it is when they see Genji's name, they just check out. Or when they play in a big arena, especially an arena in Korea for some reason, they just check out. They've got the T1 narrative in their head where T1 plays against a Chinese team, it's a cakewalk. No one cares. T1 plays against Genji, it's hell. Put on your war helmet on. We're going to town. I don't know.
Don't know. But from what this final came, well, what we got from it was this this Gen G team isn't as strong as like the other ones because obviously T1 had a chance to win. They should have 3 of them, in my opinion, if they didn't. If fucking Zayas was alive,
Yeah.
he was there. If he would have done, if he didn't, and as long as if he would have died once in the first 2 minutes, it's a different story.
Yeah.
But twice, that's like you're already dead in the beginning of the game. That whole lane is gone.
He was getting gapped in top, and then throughout the whole series, he wasn't able to get at least assist and keep a low death count. If he was able to do that, we might be able to cook something. Because mid lane and bot lane, we're cooking the whole series for the most part. But is it okay? They got time. Like I said, they take this loss. They already qualified for MSI, so there's that.
Look, I'm not putting all of this against them because they didn't have any type of practice in this tournament.
Yeah.
But to know that they just did that with barely any practice to that, there's hope. This team from Gen G looks beatable. Well, it looks like T1 can beat them if players just want to live up to what they're made to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna criticize them because I'm not that good of a player to critique another player like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just they have a narrative built around them now that they can't play against Gen G or they can't play against on the biggest stage.
No, yeah. If
So
if T1 beats Gen G in the summer finals, I feel like they were like back this year. They will stomp in Worlds this year if they can just roll over Gen G really easily in finals. Or
they
just beat
should
them in
have.
general.
They should have. If they smoked them in 2 and 3, then they can. It's
No,
just
they definitely can. And I
I don't
think
know.
the first test for this will just be MSI. If T1 is consistent and can get to MSI finals and they end up playing Gen G in MSI finals and they win, we're back. Nothing to worry about. It is completely fine. If they can't, it's gonna be the same thing as
Better
last
like next
year,
year.
you know? Yeah. Which
Just
it
hope,
sucks.
just hope Gen G choke in the World's final or Worlds,
Again, yeah.
which
We
is
need
most likely
Chovy's
gonna happen.
team to not be there in World's Final.
Well, with this roster, if they barely could beat T1 with barely any practice, well, barely,
Mhm.
then I don't. I mean, if the narrative stays the same, Gen G can't win international stuff.
Yep.
So,
We'll see. We will see. But like I said,
no.
heartbreaking loss, but also not completely unexpected, unfortunately. But okay, to move on to our next topic, Moist Critical announces the release of the Moist Esports Apex Legends roster after U.S. immigration barred the majority of the roster from entering the country ahead of the upcoming major. As you know, Moist Critical has been talking about this for a long time about how it's been really hard to get his team temporary visas or even like esports visas, which some other players can get. And for some reason, his team roster just has been unable to brave the visa process and get in the country, and we don't exactly know why, because obviously the immigration services doesn't make that stuff public. And oh, you still there?
Yeah. I don't know what happened. I think I misclicked the space bar. My fault. Over here,
You're
right
good.
here.
But yeah, it's just it sucks since he's been trying to get this done for over a month, and his team is all Australian players, and Australians, like Canadians and Brits and whatever, tend to have really easy access to the US. But for some reason, they've just no one knows why the immigration's been giving them a hard time. And unfortunately, he had to make the drastic decision of dropping the entire roster, not being able to compete in Apex Legends, which is one of Moist Esports' biggest esports titles to be in. So
It
yeah,
sucks. It sucks because I know he was doing everything possible, and I guess he didn't want to keep their players hostage, so I guess he released them so they have someone to pick him up to be able to take him.
Hmm.
But it really does suck. I mean, we've seen this happen recently with the hair or with the Carolina Royal Ravens,
Some of their players who.
Real. One of his players. Well, it was mainly he said the lawyer messed up his thing badly,
Hmm.
and they were taking such a long time, but they released him, and then he ended up getting on the Miami Heretics, and since Heretics is like really well known, I would assume that I guess the visa process was pretty quick. I heard that they got his visa within like less than a month.
Hmm.
While Carolina Royal Ravens were taking a long time, but it's because his lawyer messed up.
Hmm.
So I would assume he got a new lawyer or Miami Heretics um, just did everything for him to make it
Hmm.
easier. Um, so well, besides that, it sucks. Obviously, to spend all that money on your players and this and that, and the amount of money just that you be even them giving them a temporary visa to even compete,
Yep.
and for it not to, I mean, not to pan out his way, it sucks. Um, hopefully, I don't think he's completely out of it. I think he'll get like a different roster,
Hmm.
obviously. Um, if he wants to, I think he would go for like an all NA team or to avoid this issue. I would assume. I don't think so.
Yep.
But obviously, he wants to get the best players he wants. Obviously, that's the goal is to get the best players to compete. And it sucks that he had to just drop the roster. And pretty sure he said that he dropped them so they were given a chance to go compete at tournaments.
Yep.
And
That,
yeah, it sucks. It just sucks.
sometimes in esports it's out of your hands, and when you can't get your temporary visas or player visas to compete in certain events, you can't blame Moist Critical about anything that he had to do. He's just making the best call that he can for his team, like you said, to make sure they maybe get other opportunities with an org that can maybe get them visas to get in and compete under. But it's unfortunate. And I didn't add this to the esports news, but the last esports topic actually is Call of Duty related. Carolina Ravens major is now canceled. It will be moving to a. It's still a LAN event, but going to be hosted off on the West Coast with no audience. As many Call of Duty fans know, unfortunately, the Ravens have been one of the worst run organizations in CDL, and they also don't have money, which is insane why they were gifted a major in the first place. As a result, they
I
didn't have
was
money to foot a major. Now
so pissed
it's
off.
it's just because I think that was the one that you're gonna try to go to because it was close.
I think I was gonna actually go in general.
Yeah, but
So I kind of now regret not going to the Miami one. But if I think are rumored to host champs, I will go to champs.
mm-hmm.
I don't know who's gonna go with me, but I'll go by myself and I'll go.
It's just a shame for East Coast fans since in general we don't get many esports events in like the central East Coast region. And it's like, oh, we have a COD event. That would be nice for once in a while. And it's not happening, and it hurts to see.
What fat like pisses me off? Sorry for my
No, you're
sorry
good.
for cursing. If you can say, it, I can say it. No. Just, wait, we gotta talk about that dude too,
Mm-hmm.
because he's been blowing up. Sketch, he's been blowing up
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. But we'll get to that in a second. Um, what pisses me off the most is that FaZe are like the most consistent team in the CDL, and they haven't had a major since 2019.
You would think an org like FaZe Clan in a city like Atlanta would want to host a major, considering COD's had some massive Atlanta events. But no, apparently
I think
not.
I'm pretty. Am I? If I'm not mistaken, the FaZe land was the last on land before COVID.
And
COVID still banned word to say.
I think no, you can say it. YouTube just might add like a what is COVID-19 description under a video. It is whatever. Yeah.
So the last time they had it was 2019. That was 5 years ago. And with the way CDL is going, CDL is gonna die.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. This
Rare.
year is cooked for the CDL. It
It has
is
to be right. I
over.
mean,
You
it
can
seems
tell.
like they're trying because they. I mean, they released a bunch of the rosters and spectator viewers, staff. Oh, dude, it's crazy.
Okay, it makes sense though. FaZe Clan's last LAN was the same year that their sister team, the Atlanta Reign and Overwatch, also had their last LAN in Atlanta. Both 2019.
Yeah, but it looks like Atlanta FaZe has been the more consistent team though.
Well, yeah, because Atlanta Reign doesn't exist anymore.
Well,
It,
yeah, obviously, but FaZe have been more consistent in the CDL than any team.
yeah, I think it's just the
Maybe
fact that
maybe the first and second. I don't know.
I think most CDL teams, as we know, don't have enough money. And FaZe over the past, but listen, also FaZe
Oh,
over the past year, past 2 years was this close to dying. So
wait,
I'm
wait,
not
but
too surprised.
didn't you tell me that Atlanta FaZe isn't ran by FaZe? They just have the marketing.
Yeah, which also might be the additional issue where the parent company of FaZe, since they shelled out more money in Overwatch, and with Overwatch being completely gone, and they didn't host an Overwatch event again since 2019, besides despite being the Overwatch World Champion in 2021. So clearly, just that whole organization in general is also lacking on funds. So, regardless of that, I'm not fully surprised that FaZe hasn't hosted a major. If anything, it just shows that how the CDL should not expect their organizations to run these events. Because clearly, when some orgs do, the majors are very run down, very low budget, very unprofessional. And then sometimes they just don't happen. This is the second time in 2 years that a CDL major had to be canceled and moved to a LAN event with no audience in a tiny venue. I think the same thing happened last year.
With New York.
Yeah,
What was New York's reason? I don't remember.
and New York's one of the bigger teams. Let me check. New York just said for a variety of circumstances we will not be hosting our major. So
With
they never gave an actual reason. It's just, we just
there's,
figured out that we
I
can't.
heard two things. They said that one reason was um that where they were supposed to host it didn't give them like the permission
Mm-hmm.
anymore, and the other one was they did. I don't remember.
It's just, this is why sometimes when you are a franchise league, it is best for the tournament organizer to host events. Like when we have, like, obviously Riot with League, we already have like a set venue for everybody to be in, and then when they have Worlds at MSI, you already know where it's going to be well ahead of time, and it's not like those individual orgs are hosting those events. It's Riot themselves hosting those events. Same with Halo, for example. Halo has majors all the time, and you don't see Halo majors get canceled because it is the HCS making sure that they have the venues purchased way ahead of time and that the teams don't have to front the cost themselves. But with CDL, like I said, the top orgs obviously have money, but it seems if you go past the top four, your money pool drops off massively because you're not selling as much merch, you don't have as much of the sponsorship, you don't have a bigger fan base because that's just how it works.
Can
So
can so who's hosting the major that's coming up right now? Let me double check.
the upcoming one, it's just the CDL, isn't it?
No. That's is it?
Yeah. It's just the CDL hosted major. There's no team behind this major.
No, Toronto's holding the one that's next.
They are?
Yeah. Toronto's holding. Yeah, so Toronto's hosting Major 3, which is gonna happen. Obviously, the fourth one is the one that got canceled. Which
Okay. So yeah, major
so
4 is just
Toronto,
CDL.
here I come. A million likes and I'll go to the Toronto Major because I want to go to Toronto.
That's a long ways away from here, man.
A million likes, I'm not go.
You heard it here first. But
I
yeah,
don't think.
it's disappointing. I don't know why they thought Ravens could host a major in the first place, considering how they have not been.
Yeah, they had options to choose between FaZe, Optic, New York.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, the top four teams. Obviously, let's see. Let's see another team. Obviously, Heretics. It was a good idea because I mean they're new, and then obviously the Heretics fan base and
Mm-hmm.
bunch of Latinos slash Hispanics live in Miami,
Hmm.
even though the stupid law that came out, which really sucks. But we're not going to talk about that. So literally, the top four teams could have hosted a major. Minnesota's been good with hosting a major.
Hmm.
Um, Probably LA Thieves, even though they suck, but they could host one. Boston hosted one. Um, Not Vegas. Don't even bother asking them. Any of the top four teams could have gotten it. I don't know why. I don't think they didn't go in, but if they're doing champs in Texas, then I see why. Let's
Yeah.
see. Obviously, Miami had theirs, not Gorillas, because we know what happened. Minnesota could have because they ran by G2, and I know G2 has the funds, so um,
Yeah, I'm not sure if
let's
G2 is too. I'm not sure if not just G2, but most teams in general are that invested in COD anymore. Considering that it seems every team knows this year's the final year of the CDL, so why
yeah, I
cash out?
know. So LA Thieves could have been an option. Obviously, Boston had Miami was an option. Minnesota, and then the top four teams.
Mm.
So besides Surge, Carolina, Gorillas, and Vegas, the teams that aren't trying anymore, besides Vegas,
Yeah,
but I don't think they have the funds to even host one because they barely are giving their players the minimum, but
Vegas
they're
is
allowed.
unfortunate because their team doesn't have money, but they have like how there's the esports arena Arlington in Texas. There's an esports arena right there in Las Vegas that they could so easily use.
But they don't have the funds,
Yeah,
and yeah, Optic own the other one, the one in Texas. So
it
sucks to suck.
is what it is. But again, another COD year, another major canceled. Not canceled, but moved from land to land with no audience, with no host. So it's just, hey man, CDL's on the struggle bus this year. We'll see. I'm excited to hear what they say at the end of this year with what's going to happen to the CDL. But for now, it's a shame that even Ravens were given the chance to host one, considering their situation over time. But yeah, was there anything you want to add in the esports category before we move on, or
I mean, would you consider esports category if the sketch like blow up?
sure, why not? Go for it.
Is it okay? So if y'all don't know, what's up, brother? Special teams, special plays, special players. Tuesday. You know, this go-to thing. Been taking over the world in sports. Um, I guess news, everything.
Mm-hmm.
He blew up out of the blue. I mean, he was popular already, but he was given a bigger platform to show how he really is. I hope he's just playing a character. If he is really, I don't think he's actually like this person,
Mm-hmm.
but I think he's just playing the character. Yeah, he's been blowing up, and yeah, he's all over the place. He was at UFC 300.
Mm-hmm.
He's collabed with like big streamers recently. Obviously, Jinxie's one of them. Um, let's see who else. He's collabed with NFL players from the Houston Texans, the
Mm-hmm.
team he roots for. Let's see, he's played Madden with a bunch of people. What's that buff dude on Instagram? Brad Martin, Brad, whatever his name. He's like the really buff dude with the gym. What's his name?
I could not
Brad
tell you.
something. Okay, well, anyways, yeah, he collabed with them. He's been obviously Jinxie. They did the smoke. I think the smoking stream or the get high stream, whatever I don't know what they called it, but because of that, he blew up more because he was given a bigger audience. And yeah, he's been blowing up in everywhere in the world. I've been doing his celebrations for goals,
Mm-hmm.
um, the MLB, NBA, and obviously me, the viewers. Come on, do it one time.
No, I'm
What's up,
good.
brother?
No,
Do
no,
it, do
no,
it.
no,
What's up,
no,
brother?
no, no, no,
Special team, special plays, special players. Tuesday. Do it
no,
time. At
no, no,
least do it
no.
one time. Come
Maybe another
on.
time. No, no, no.
What's up, brother? Do it one time. Come on, just once.
No, we, 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 we,
You
we
already
got.
say that anyways. What's up, brother?
What's up, brother?
Say it. Special teams, special
No, I'm
players, special
kidding.
players. Oh my god! But yeah, he's been taking it this time. It just take. I realized it just takes one moment slash someone to give me the opportunity to, and yeah, they blow up. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. To be able to have his emote seen in actual sports on TV and stuff is a wild, but hey man, gamers are out there making their name known. It has been it's been a good few years for content creators and esports players being just in actual public with the general public seeing them and their influence. So I love to see it. We love to see it.
I do love to see it. So
But yeah, I think
we'll
that closes out.
see how that goes.
Exactly. That closes out our esports news. And we go on to general news, which you're gonna have to take over the first topic, so I didn't watch WrestleMania. But WrestleMania news, and also I think the news that everybody did see: Speed getting KO'd at WrestleMania.
Okay, let's talk about the other thing, the last thing on there,
Want to do that
just to get it
first?
out. Yeah, just to get it
Okay.
out.
Okay,
Because
fine. Before we
WrestleMania was
do,
like it's more up to vibes and good stuff. So
sure. Okay. Before we do WrestleMania, we'll do our one topic, which is somewhat heavy, but somewhat no one also cares
no
because
one really
no
cares. I
one
don't care.
cared about him at this point.
But
As he knows,
it's a big topic. Yeah, go
like
ahead.
as you know, famous celebrity slash former sports
NFL
player, NFL player, OJ Simpson passed away at the age of
6,
76
I
a few
think,
days ago. Yeah, from when
of
we're
cancer.
recording. Yeah, he had a cancer. Of course, there's his
This
family. Of course, condolences for him because obviously they lost a family member. General public, on the other hand, as we know, OJ Simpson, if you followed his case, which is one of the most famous for any sort of celebrity, he was on trial for the murder of his ex-wife and her friend, but LAPD completely goofed up the case because it went from them trying to charge OJ Simpson for a potential murder to is LAPD racist? And that screwed everything, and he got out with scot free essentially. Of course, everyone knows. Did he do this? Yeah, probably. But since they
because
messed up the whole
it's because
trial,
the girl didn't say it, Mokhtar, and they were racist. We're not gonna go into depth with this, right? Just a topic that we're not gonna go into because it's very controversial.
yeah,
I don't know, it depends on the audience who how people take it. We're not gonna talk about it. We're just gonna talk about past failures due to cancer, obviously his background and stuff like that.
yeah.
Um, Nothing really much to talk about.
Yeah, he's one of the
Uh,
just I guess you could say one of the bigger celebrity passings we've had this year. But generally with celebrity passings you have more so of people are having an outpouring of grief, while his was I think like 99% no one cared, which is I mean, of course he's a person, but he's a person that did bad things and clearly did not sorry about that. He clearly did not own up
yeah,
to it.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
special teams, special players, special Tuesday.
Okay.
I'm
Uh,
just joking.
on to our other topics, as we were
No,
saying.
yeah. Which one do you want
WrestleMania.
to talk
This
about?
is this is all
ISO
you.
Speed or WrestleMania?
Do I show speed first?
All right. So ISO Speed was in the Prime Battle with Logan Paul. Logan Paul faced um, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, which is pretty crazy to think that a YouTube Vine sensation is now a WWE Superstar champion.
Mm-hmm.
And he's actually pretty damn good at it. So he's starting to gain more respect back from the people, obviously from the controversial stuff he had back in the past. It seems like he's matured. He's actually dedicated to this more than Bad Bunny. Not trying to throw shade at Bad Bunny. Don't hate me, but Bad Bunny was signed as a superstar. He was there for only a couple fights. Logan
Mm-hmm.
Paul is a full time wrestler, but yeah. Anyways, he wrestled and ISO speed, I guess, costed Randy in the match. Randy Orton gets pissed off. What he did, he RKO'd Speed, and it was pretty funny.
Yep.
Was not expecting Speed, but I guess that's the good thing with Logan Paul in WWE
Mm-hmm.
because you see these faces show up and they get clicks. So obviously, Speed's fans were like, "What? He's at WrestleMania." So they start tuning into WrestleMania. They causes them to watch it, more views. Obviously, it's a marketing thing from WWE, which is they're doing a great job,
Mm-hmm.
and they are improving their business as a whole. They've gotten better. It's the company to be in at work at, so they are doing things the right way. And obviously, with we talked about this, they are moving to Netflix, and with that, they are slowly transitioning the PG, I guess you call era to more so like PG-14. Is that a thing?
Yeah,
More so
PG
like a little
PG
more
15, 16,
or
whatever it's
something
called.
like that. So
No, PG
it's
13.
where
I'm dumb. My God.
so
Yeah, 13.
so obviously they're transitioning their content to more like realistic, like swearing, blood, stuff like that. So it's something we haven't seen in wrestling in a long time, and because the way they don't want to instantly force it once they switch over is they start developing it into our heads throughout the months, which is doing a great job.
Mm.
Obviously because of the record breaking thing, but um, yeah. Anyways, ISIS we got RKO'd.
Yep.
Pretty funny. I fucking died laughing when I saw it. It was because he made some stupid face, and yeah, he was messing with Randy Orton, and it's pretty cool that these celebrities are giving opportunities in the WWE,
Hmm.
and which means the WWE is expanding their variety way more outside of just former legends or like. This is ISO sweet. Like he's a big Twitch, not streamer. I'm not gonna. I
Big streamer,
forgot
yeah.
what he's. Um. So obviously last year we saw KSI. He got slammed,
Yeah.
and he got RKO'd by Randy Orton earlier this year too. So yeah, it's a cool way of WWE marketing because you see it trend on Twitter. ISO Speed at WrestleMania or KSI WrestleMania, stuff like that. So it's getting clicks for them.
Mm.
Obviously, that's how they're boosting their and it's working out. I mean, they said it's like the biggest, and it's just the new era of where they're heading. Which
Mm.
a couple years ago, WWE's on the low end, and no one has been talking about it. This is the most that we've talked about it. It's the most it's been popular everywhere. If you notice,
Yeah. Definitely.
yeah. So yeah, that's pretty funny, pretty. So all the clips that came out, obviously,
Yeah,
I guess
that's
a
good for them.
trending thing.
It
So
gives
yeah.
them more advertisement, and it gives people who necessarily might not watch WWE but might watch people like Speed or other famous celebrities that get brought onto the program to actually want to tune in and watch. So they're doing a good job of marketing themselves this year.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, people criticize Logan Paul as WWE champion, but as a WWE champion. But if you noticed, he walks everywhere around with the title, and I think that's their whole plan, which is good because if you see him everywhere, he has it in a podcast and everything.
Hmm.
He's carrying it, and he's like, I guess he's representing their company, and it's a good thing. And I think that's the reason why they gave him the title, and it's been working out. So he good marketing out of them, and
Yep.
they're doing a great job, and they're moving to the right direction. So with that, talking about the right direction, WrestleMania was last weekend, biggest WrestleMania of all time. The Rock came back after 8 years of not wrestling from Hollywood to take over and make wrestling cool again. That's what he called it. And now he's called the Final Boss.
Yeah, until he got
And
beat by the actual final boss,
what do you mean?
the
No.
Undertaker.
Oh, well, yeah, I forgot. It
Yeah,
was the
that
most
that
over.
happened.
It was the most overbooked thing ever, but it was like in a good way. Stupid overbooked, but in a good way to a point where people were watching.
Mhm.
Um, so obviously WrestleMania is now a 2-day event, but because The Rock is involved, The Rock is a big face in the movie industry now, and him coming back to wrestling was like insane. And I guess he took some time off from the movies to do this,
Mhm.
and it ended up helping him. He's improved the viewership because this was Peacock's most streamed live
I
event
think
of
so.
with 2.1 billion, I think, if
Billion. I
I'm
don't
not
know if it
mistaken.
was that high.
No, it was high. I'm
I
pretty
don't.
sure.
I don't think it was billion. That's like
No, I don't know exactly.
billion is way too high. Hold on.
No, I don't know exactly. I might be like exaggerating it, but it was pretty high. It was
'Cause
like their highest thing of all
if
time.
if it was 2.1 billion, that would be the most viewed sports event ever, more than the World Cup. It was
No, I'm not even
67
counting.
million. Yeah, it's
I was,
nuts.
I was close. I was off by like a billion and something.
You're off by.
$1.4 billion.
1.6 billion. You know.
I was off by not much, but anyways, I mean that's still crazy. That it's almost even close to the billions for wrestling.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was Peacock's most streamed live event on their at
It was also
streaming
WWE's most live stream event on their YouTube channel. So they
yeah.
they racked in that viewership.
They yeah, and I think because of that, Cody Rhodes' merchandise was the most sold thing of all time too.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see, WWE. I gotta look it up because I need to fact
You need to
check
make
this.
sure that you're saying the right things.
It's one of the. It was like Cody Rhodes' like merchandise was like the most all time sold at that night at WrestleMania after he won the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but WWE wouldn't be in this position without Roman Reigns holding the title for that long, causing people to just watch and watch, and I'll see The Rock.
Yep.
And then when he lost it, everyone was happy.
I was about to say, I have a question.
Um,
The Rock, ever since he's been brought back, has kind of been not received with praise. It's been more like a negative thing, right?
okay. Do you want to know why?
Yeah, go explain.
Okay. So obviously last year we watched WrestleMania together,
Yep.
and obviously we saw how it ended. He Cody Rhodes got screwed over, and from the way it looked and the way they like I guess implemented that they were gonna have the rematch the following year,
Mm-hmm.
which they were hinting at for so long. Even towards the end when they did the face off, and then he won the Royal Rumble. So we were like, okay, we're expecting this again, and this time it's gonna be a different outcome, right?
Yep.
And then, but because of the rumors were so high with The Rock returning to face him, because that was the original plan, like almost 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he had free time until I guess now, starting to film the movie in May.
Mm-hmm.
He has free time now, and I guess because he's part owner of TKO, which is ran by WWE, he could do whatever he wants
Yeah.
because he's the owner. And yeah, he was like, I guess he just decided to put himself in the match because it was like the long-awaited, overdue match, and because it was, I guess, forced, it really annoyed people because they're like, no, we want the original like plan to go through because that's what everyone's waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's the whole point of building this whole like turmoil between Cody Rhodes losing and then going through trials and this and that to get his revenge and that. And because The Rock came back, it just feel like damn, he's gonna get screwed over.
Yep.
That was something like amazing, right?
Yep.
And obviously because of that, it became the most disliked video of WWE of all time because no one watched that. It's just the most like forced, like there's no build up to it. There's nothing behind it.
Yep.
Um, so obviously, I think The Rock noticed it because there's a podcast recently. I think Triple H but he talked about like he's like, hey, like I think we should change this. The The Rock knows when something isn't like right. They have to change it.
Yep.
So he noticed like, yo, let's change it. Let's do the tag team, and then let's change me to like a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously they were happy about the idea because you already have something that's there. Why change it now and get rid of it
Yeah.
and wait a whole nother year? And people are annoyed because you're just dragging this on. So I think they did it better this time because now they have like an actual type of story to build off of.
Yeah.
I'll explain in a second. So with like recently, but obviously, yeah, that and then because The Rock was competing for the first time in 8 years, people had to watch. They had to see how good he was still.
Yeah.
And holy shit, this dude is massive. Like he makes everyone that's big look small because of how jacked he is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it ended up working out better. This and that. So from the way they set it up, it looks like they're gonna do this Roman Reigns versus The Rock next year at WrestleMania
Okay.
because because if you notice, night one, The Rock beat Cody Rhodes, and then the second night, Roman Reigns lost to Cody Rhodes. And then I'm guessing The Rock feels like, well, he couldn't beat the guy I beat. Why should he be the head of everybody? I should be the head, and I am the final boss. So, there's gonna be there's already a storyline being built as we speak. With people turning on you got to go back in. It's
No,
hard to
yeah.
explain, but
But
from the
also,
way it sounds, it looks like The Rock is gonna come back and they're gonna make everything. It's like a long.
no, yeah.
It's like a long. They've been doing this story for 5 years now since COVID.
Hmm.
Um, and then it looks like the story isn't even close to done. It looks like it's starting to get. It's like a movie. It goes like this. It was like this, and then it went down. This and then down.
Yeah.
Now it's like when is this gonna end?
Hmm.
And from how it looks, because they want to do a bloodline civil war where family versus family, this and that, and then yeah, because of that, it's like grabbing people's attention now, and it's
Can
wrestling
you
is cool.
explain to the viewer where the Undertaker plays in all of this?
So let's see. Obviously, The Rock. I mean, not The Rock. John Cena, Stone Cold. Okay, so Undertaker wasn't supposed to be there. It was supposed to be Stone Cold, but WWE and him couldn't agree on a price, so Undertaker filled in. But it made more sense since Roman Reigns beat the Undertaker and retired him. Probably has bad blood. He doesn't like The Rock either.
Hmm.
Not in in WWE form, but they're really good outside of it. And then obviously John Cena doesn't like Roman Reigns because he beat Roman Reigns, and obviously The Rock and him had they had beef inside WWE. Like at the time back then they had real beef because John Cena said, "Oh, The Rock left for the Hollywood and he doesn't care about the business."
Yeah.
And then ended up being the opposite. John Cena left and did the same thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, they have apologized to each other about it, or he's apologized to it, saying that it was the dumbest thing he could have said because he ended up doing it, and now he's like a big movie star. So yeah, obviously, it was supposed to be Stone Cold because they wanted to be involved, and because it was Undertaker because of the whole disagreement, it made more sense because obviously Undertaker's might be mad because Roman Reigns retired him and beat him and this and that. So nothing much to say. And then The
Alright.
Rock got choke slammed in. It was most like the most overbooked thing ever, but it was in a good way. And I was excited and I wanted to watch more. And wrestling's cool again.
Wrestling is cool again. It's entered the mainstream once again with the way the WWE has made sure that they're grabbing all the audiences from every age, and with their whole Netflix deal next year, it's going to be elevated 10 times more. Obviously, they have the YouTube streaming, and then with these different celebrities that aren't necessarily wrestling focused coming also into these events, they know what they're doing. It is impressive to see how the WWE has made sure that they have a pretty good future ahead of them. So, absolutely props to them and their ownership. They've got the stuff going on behind the scenes. But yeah, I think that covers all of our topics for this week. So if you want to close us out, or do you want me to
So,
do it?
oh, I froze.
Yeah,
That freeze?
yeah, you froze
I
for a
froze like for
second.
like a second. With that being said, hopefully I don't freeze me. Thank you guys for watching this episode of the podcast. You back next week for the daily, weekly, Thursday podcast. So,
Daily, then weekly. What?
oh, it's still early for me. For your weekly podcast, every Thursdays, always at mid, or I guess noon,
Noon Eastern time.
noon Eastern time. Um, so make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you know when we upload. Go back watch other videos on the channel because we got some good. Go watch the Halo video. That thing, amazing. And we also appreciate the love on that video. Thank you guys. We do really appreciate it. Um, yeah, nothing much to say. Make sure you comment. Follow the socials are down below. Also, comment what you think Montero should dye his hair to, and
Make sure to check out this
nothing
week's
more than much
episode
to
of
say.
The Origin, which will be out 2 days before this on
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Oh my god, I forgot that video's coming out. So no Minecraft this Tuesday or Tuesday that came out. Or fuck.
Yeah.
He threw me off. So with that being said, we will see you guys in the next
Bye bye.
key.